This podcast was recorded on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Welcome back to the pod. It's another week with your favourite, me and him.
All right, guys. Yep, another week of Mad About You. Jad's obviously had a bit of sleep and feeling fresh with that sort of intro. Guys, welcome back wherever you are. We appreciate having you with us every week. This week we do have a fun one for you. It's
oh my gosh, you say that every week because they're so fun.
No, it's such a good one. I'm loving this one. Guys, this week on the pod, we are diving into the rabbit hole of proposals and horrible engagement stories
these
that
are
you
good.
Sent us. Now, some are funny, some are sad, and some are just like outrageous. So brace yourselves for a fun little app. And our Ask Mum and Dad this week comes from a girl who doesn't really know how to tell her boyfriend that he kind of needs to back off when pushing his hobbies onto her. Now, before we get stuck into all that, I did want to tell you guys that it was Jadé's birthday yesterday.
Boo.
She turned 30.
Boo.
And she is looking 30.
What the hell?
Sorry.
Wait, what does that mean? Is that a compliment?
Yeah, it looks good. No, you look amazing always. No, it was Jadé's birthday yesterday, guys. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because it's kind of like a birthday month for her. She likes celebrating every possible which way. She organises something with like one friendship group and another one.
No,
and then
that's
family.
because I like to divvy my friends up. And I'm sure a lot of people will relate to this. It's so hard when you get everyone together, which I am doing this time. It's so hard when you get everyone together and you have to you're just spending time running around to the different groups of people, making sure that you're spreading your time across all of them instead of actually having conversations with all of them in different settings.
Do you want to just sit in like a throne and everyone comes up to you and wishes happy birthday and hands you a gift or something?
No, I just mean coffee with these people, beach with those people, lunch with those people, so you can actually talk to them. I think it's good idea.
Yeah, some people like birthdays, some people don't. I'd rather just skip over mine, and Jad wants to celebrate every third day for the whole month. But each to their own. But the reason why I told you that it was her birthday is because we're thinking of doing a family trip together, and we're wanting to go perhaps overseas. And we've gone to Adelaide.
Our potential sponsors, we love all airlines, and let us know if you have any spare seats on any of your planes.
That was unplanned, guys. Interesting. Sorry about her. So we are looking to go overseas. We've done Adelaide, we've done Melbourne. I wouldn't even say we've really done them well, but Jadé's really adamant about going overseas, and she doesn't want to go close either. She doesn't want to duck to Fiji or something a few hours away and test the waters. She wants to go to London or New York.
I want to dive in the deep end
and brave 24 hours on a flight with a little one. But when we were talking about this, it kind of got me thinking about places we'd been in the past and places we might like to revisit. And then I was hit with a memory of something that happened to Jadé and I when we were traveling back in the day, which we've never actually spoken about online because it was it was a little bit crazy if I'm being honest. It's never happened to us, and it hasn't happened to us since. But it was kind of a big deal at the time, and we were a lot younger, and it kind of hit us like a ton of bricks. So I was reminded of this story, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. And so pretty much what happened was Jad was overseas with a client, and she was traveling, I think, through Italy. It was a trip she was doing, and at this stage we were quite early on to dating. It was probably like a year in, or year and a half even. It was quite. I think
it was half a year.
Quite fresh, and I hadn't really done much travel. I'd done some with my family when I was a kid, but I hadn't really done any as an adult. I was kind of more of like a stay at home and work. Not much of an adventurer. But when I met Jad, she kind of got me into sort of travel and adventure, which was it's a great thing now I think of it. But let me just paint this picture. So Jad's overseas, and we've decided to meet in Greece. Okay, and so she's already going to meet me there, and I've got to find my way there from Sydney.
In Santorini, specifically.
In Santorini, okay. But also at the time, we're a bit younger, money's a bit scarce, and so I've chosen the cheapest flight possible, which is 35 hours. There's heaps of stops, heaps of layovers, and it's just a horrible time. And I'm by myself, no Jad, so whatever. So we get there, and
I'm already there. I've landed there before you, an hour or two before you. Do you remember?
Yes.
And then you land.
So Jad's waiting for me at the airport, and we're over there to do a little bit of work with a few clients. We were doing some work with Booking.com and stuff like that, and then also just some leisurely travel for ourselves. We were doing a bit of a Europe trip. So we're over there, and the first leg of the trip we were super excited about because we were staying in these like beautiful rock, like cliff villas, like on the, the rocks of Santorini, these little villas hidden in the rocks with like amazing views. It looked like, the most special place. I told all my friends, all our family, everything. And it was beautiful. We were so excited. And so I think this place, we were doing some work with them and they were hosting us for, I think they could only do like a couple of nights, like 2-3 nights because, they were quite, luxurious, beautiful, expensive villas, right? That we were meant to get some content for them. So we'd organized all this stuff and we're finding our way from Santorini airport. It was like an hour and a half taxi. It
was a long, expensive, it was €100, I think.
Yeah,
taxi.
up into like the mountains, or I don't know how to describe it.
It was like it was half an hour, but it was still €100.
Yeah, so we get up and, we've got our luggage and Santorini's not really like, easy to get around. So we're at the top of this like, cliff face and we're walking down these rocks to these villas in the middle of nowhere. And we get to the front desk and we go, hey, we're here from Australia. We're doing some work with you guys. Like we're staying for a couple of nights.
I'm actually cringing as you're saying.
Here's all our confirmation stuff, like da-da-da. And the guy at the front desk goes like, oh, I'm actually the manager. Like I've never heard of, like, I've never spoken to you guys. I've never heard of anything. Like I have no idea what's going on here. And Jad and I look at each other. We're like, oh, it's a bit weird, but maybe we've been talking to someone else.
We're like,
so
is this you?
we get out all the email correspondence and everything and the booking confirmations, and we show him, and he's like, I think there's been an issue here, guys. I think someone's like taking you for a ride. And we go, what do you mean? And he goes, well, see here the email address. It was the villas that, the name of the villas.
It was his name on the email.
It was his name and then the villas, but it was at a different, like it was at gmail.com instead of at thevillasname.com.
Rookie error. Massive rookie error from us because we normally picked up on that stuff. So it was really silly for us to not have.
Yeah. So, but everything looked legit. Like the letterheads, the way, like the booking confirmation emails,
They'd done a fake booking confirmation with the watermark.
Yeah,
like
the way they spoke, like it was incredible. So Jad and I had been talking to this person online back home. We'd organized this thing and we'd started our trip in Greece because of this like thing that had been organized. So here we are in this villa. It was getting to the evening now. So it was like 6 p.m. We're in Greece. He says, I can't even have you stay here if I want to because everything's booked out. So here we are in like this opposite end of Greece. We have no idea. We have no internet. Like our phones don't work, nothing. And we're stuck. We have no accommodation. And not only have we been like absolutely rorted, we've flown to Greece to stay at these places. And someone's just like, apart from that, we're now looking for a place to stay. So we had to jump online and find a place to stay for the few nights that we were in Greece until we flew out. And obviously when you're booking something on the night, the prices are insane. And so we ended up spending like, I think it was like a couple of grand.
It was an extra.
Stay,
it was like $2,000 to $3,000.
Yeah, for like maybe 4 nights there, and it was nothing. Like it was, and the accom wasn't even crazy or anything. It was just like
it was
a little,
okay.
But so Jad and I had flown across the world to stay and do some work with this hotel. But someone, and we have no idea.
We don't know.
No one's ever come out.
Who was motivated? Here's
us.
Here's the weirdest part. Is the reason that I fell for it is because I had just sent that person an email, like asking to collaborate with the villas about 3 days before they emailed me. I don't know if it was just a huge coincidence. I had just emailed him saying, hey, would love to work with you guys. I got an email back actually saying, really sorry, we're not taking anyone at the moment. And then I got another email saying, hey, would love to work with you. So I was like, oh, cool. They found some sort of availability or something, like they'd love to work with us. So that's why I didn't think to kind of double check the emails, because I was already emailing that same person. They'd gone and found out the manager's name and then emailed us, made it look very official to say we'd love to work with you. So we fell for it. Locke had gotten off the flight. Obviously, been traveling for 35 hours. Another hour to the hotel and we get there and we're just like, it was just shocking. Like we couldn't believe.
We were also young at the time.
Someone had gone and done that to us and we still have no bloody idea who had. It was such an elaborate scam. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. And it worked for them. But the thing is, also, I don't know if they've ever got to enjoy knowing that they got us, because we've
never spoken about it.
They didn't email after the fact and go like, haha.
Hey, how was the hotel?
Yeah, how was the hotel? Nothing. So it was just this scam, and then they just put it to bed and
it was so weird.
Got on with their lives. And we got on with ours and
we
the trip went ahead.
We never said anything about it because we kind of didn't want to give them the satisfaction.
Yeah, we didn't want to shed any light on it, but 8 years down the track and we thought we'd share the story with you guys, because I was just reminded of it. And I remember, calling my parents and telling them and friends friends, and people were like, "Whoa, that's insane!"
Even
and
the
I also
hotel
felt,
manager was like, "Can I show this to my colleagues?"
Yeah.
And we were like, "Okay, yeah, you must."
Yeah, so that was not the nicest travel experience for us when we first started traveling with each other a long, long time ago. But we are a little bit more diligent now with our travel adventures.
Yeah.
And Jad double checks the email addresses.
Every time. So you guys have sent in some of your engagement proposal horror stories, and thank you for doing so because, wow, yeah, you guys are in for a treat, honestly. It's unbelievable, some of these stories that have come through. But for those of you who don't know our engagement story, we thought we'd just let you know really quickly, even though nothing really went wrong. It's, nice to kind of recap and relive the memories sometimes.
You're just going to flex on everyone with a nice
I
story
am,
before
really
their horror
good.
stories.
You know what, actually, the thing that kind of tipped me off, Locke seems to think that I wasn't tipped off at all. He doesn't seem to.
Jad thought it was going to happen every 4 days for like 8 years. And then when it finally happened, she was like, knew it.
No, you know what happened? This whole thing started with Locke telling me to pack an outfit. We were going away and he said, pack an outfit. I need to shoot a job while we're away. And I said, okay, like what do you think I should wear? And in my mind, I'm going, if he tells me to wear white, I'm getting engaged. And he goes, oh, maybe that white, that skirt and top that you have, maybe that one, that would be good with what I'm wearing. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I packed it and I had an inkling that it was coming.
But how many inklings had you had before?
It doesn't matter. There were multiple inklings, but this inkling was strong. This was a strong inkling. The other thing was Locke told me we were shooting a job, and like normally if we're shooting a job together, we're both involved in the job, but he said that I needed to be involved, but I wasn't like looped in on anything. There was no I wasn't being paid for anything. I was just kind of an add-on. So usually I'd be keyed in on whatever's going on if it's both of us involved in a job. Anyway, so the day comes. We've decided to go get coffee before we go to shoot the job. I think Locke was visibly nervous. I'm sure he likes to think he wasn't, but he definitely didn't.
I can believe it.
He didn't look like himself that morning. His eyes were a little bit wider. He just seemed a little bit more on edge. I was wearing my nice white outfit that I normally wouldn't wear in the morning. And we went to get our coffee, and then we headed to this beautiful spot on the beach where Locke said we were going to take these photos. So he brought the tripod and brought the big nice camera and set it up. And he's setting it up, and then he goes, okay, well, let's take a few shots. And he's kind of like, I don't know, you weren't really making eye contact with me. Like you were kind of just, it's like you were going through the motions in your head, like as we were doing this.
I really want to do this, or should I just keep shooting and pretend?
So we're taking our photos, and I'm like, oh, he's definitely proposing. Like it's so obvious.
Guys, this is the first I've heard of this, by the way.
Oh, come on. And then he goes, Here's the part that it was really cute, and I played along obviously because I was like, he's getting the ring. He goes, are those dolphins over there? And he pointed out to the ocean, and I was like, okay, he needs to rummage through his bag to get the ring box. So I'm going to look out for a long time and give him some. I'm standing out facing the ocean, going, where? Can't see anything.
What a good sport.
There's no dolphins, and I'm like, honey, where are the dolphins? And I'm like, it's long rummaging. I can hear him rummaging. And
This
I'm like,
actually does sound like a proposal nightmare story
I'll
now.
just drag it out for a bit longer. And then he goes, oh, yeah, no, don't worry. I think they left. And then walks up to me really
Wouldn't
quickly.
have said that. Dolphins don't leave.
You said something. You said, oh, they've gone over there or something. Like you dismissed it really quickly. And you'd obviously hit record on the camera instead of taking photos. And then he did this thing. We do this thing where we say 5 things we love about each other. Like we've done that for years. I don't know how it started. I think I just asked you one day in bed. I would have been like, tell me 5 things you love about me. And then it just turned into this thing we used to do back and forth. And he started saying 5 things he loved about me. And it was really sweet and beautiful. And then he got down on one knee and he said that he wanted to be with me.
What was the last thing I said?
You said the last thing is that I would like to be with you for the rest of my life.
No.
Okay, in the moment you're really excited and adrenaline's running through you and you honestly forget ask any woman, they always forget what was being said to them.
Wait, so you don't remember anything?
No, I do. I remember. It was the 5 things. It was really lovely.
What,
really
give me one of the things I said.
kind.
No,
and
that's
caring.
lame.
No.
The last thing I said is that I
Beautiful.
love knowing that I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah, I said that. You want to spend
Yeah.
the rest of my life with me?
Okay.
I said that. Anyway, and then he got down on one knee and
Lucky
proposed,
guess.
and it was beautiful. There were rainbows and fireworks, and the
Dolphins
dolphins
came
jumped. Dolphins jumped out of the ocean in a heart shape. And yeah, it was really lovely. Nothing really went wrong. So, and then Locke had surprised me with my family, had come up, and yeah, it was gorgeous. Good job.
Thanks. Sounds like it wasn't a good job, though.
What do you mean? It was great. Girls just know things. Girls are just cued in on things.
Yeah, sure. All right. I feel like that's my horror story now.
No, it was amazing.
It sounds nice. Sounds like maybe it could have gone smoother if I was more inconspicuous. But
No, you did a very good job, honey.
Oh,
I was
thank you
just
so much,
I was at that point. I thought everything was, like you said, going to be the proposal.
yeah, eventually you just have to get it right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's knock into your stories
Let's
now.
knock in.
All right, it says, I know a couple who are currently not together anymore. He proposed by going skydiving by himself and her meeting him at the landing spot and proposing to her. She didn't even skydive. He just pulled out a ring and proposed. Anyways, they broke it off and she kept the ring. Okay, going skydiving by yourself. Was this guy James Bond or something?
That's so weird. Who does that?
Like maybe if you wanted to have like this exhilarating experience
Why was she waiting
together.
on the floor for how long? Skydiving takes ages. I don't know if you guys know. Like, there's like you have to do this like safety briefing, and then eventually you sit around for another hour, and then they take you up, and then eventually you jump out of the plane. So she would have just been like twiddling her thumbs.
You go from the place like in a bus to the airport, then like a safety briefing, then
It's
up
a
in
whole
the flight,
thing.
and then it takes like also a bit of time to get down. You free fall for about 45 seconds a minute, but then it's like a 7-8 minute trip
Yeah.
down. So was she just sitting in like the field like looking for clovers and just
Poor
staring up at
thing.
this guy?
I love
going,
that
"What
she
is
didn't go
happening?"
with him. Like, he's like, this is going to be mad. I'm going to...
He was like, look, when you see me, press the James Bond music. I want that playing when I get down.
Do you reckon he was wearing a suit? He was, for sure.
No,
I reckon he
I don't
ripped
know.
off his jumpsuit and he had a tux on underneath.
I don't.
He just wanted to live out his dreams of being a legend.
Yeah, he must have seen that like on a Reddit thread or something that like this was going to kill it. But I get maybe if they did it together because Jad and I have been skydiving together. It's a crazy experience. Like I describe it as like euphoric. Like
it is.
jumping out of a plane. It's like the weirdest possible thing because your whole life you want to be safe inside a car, inside a plane. You're taught like the safety procedures, wear your seatbelt, and you go up in this little tin box. You don't wear a seatbelt and you jump out of it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And then you're
So
floating
cool.
through the sky. It's wild. But by yourself, it's probably, that's a weird one because she's sitting on the ground, no euphoric
Just watching
experience,
you.
nothing.
Yeah.
Going, holy moly, I can't believe I just drove 90 minutes to Wollongong to stare at the sky. So I dare say you didn't really probably think that one through. And
And then she kept the ring.
yeah, keeping the ring, that's actually why I wanted to also
on
speak
ya.
about it. No,
What?
that's horrible. You're joking me.
It's like compensation for that horrible experience.
Wait, let's say the ring's
It's a
10
gift.
grand. That's compensation for the 40 minutes she looked into the sky.
It's a gift. What do you mean? You don't take it back. Are
You
you
definitely
taking? Are you
take-
now taking everything back that you've ever given that person?
No, it's
You're
a
divvying
gift.
up all
It's a
your
gift
Uber
if
Eats
you get
receipts.
married.
Yeah.
Like if you're marrying me, sure, keep the ring. But if you decide to not marry me, you don't get to keep the ring.
What if the ring was $200?
I don't care. It's a principle thing.
You don't care.
I'm confused. Are you actually serious or are you just playing devil's advocate here? Like I need to know. Like you think that if you are proposed to someone, you're engaged and then you split up, you keep the ring.
Depends.
No.
If you cheated on me, I'd keep the ring. I'd try to find yours too. Keep that. Just burn it.
Okay, that's different. But also when you're
See, you don't
engaged,
know,
you don't
though.
have a ring.
You have a ring?
I don't have a ring when
True,
I'm engaged.
I'd get something else and burn it.
Yeah, wow. Psycho. Yeah, you don't keep the ring. That is like,
I
That's
disagree.
horrible.
It depends.
that's horrible. Can I just I actually just want to ask our producers in the room, is that normal to keep the ring?
Yeah.
You'd keep the ring. Britt, would you keep the ring?
Probably.
Oh my God.
You've asked
All right,
three
we
women.
got 3 ladies in
You
here.
asked 3 women.
Well, I thought
Run down the hall and find a man.
I thought at least one of the 3 of you would have a moral compass.
No.
Obviously not.
No, yeah.
So ladies are keeping the ring, pawning it, and then going on a trip. Awesome.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
it especially depends under what circumstances, you know. Maybe if you'd kind of like really, you'd both agreed you'd become platonic and it wasn't going anywhere and it was blah, blah, blah. And you go, you know what? Here you go, Simon. Gonna miss you.
Yeah, here's a memory of me.
See you later. You know, here you go. Thanks for the ring. It was your grandma's. I get that. Here you go. That makes sense. But if, you know, you've gone skydiving on your own. No, I'm keeping
it. Might have just been an amicable breakup, though. It doesn't say they broke up after the skydiving. Like she put the ring on and then on the way home said, keeping it. See ya. Like, it's not, I didn't think that's how it worked.
Look, the general consensus is you keeping the ring.
The general consensus is that all the chicks in this room are cooked.
You're outnumbered, buddy.
All right, go next story.
Okay, next one. When the father of my children proposed, he didn't plan it. It was very spontaneous. Therefore, he had no ring picked out. A couple of weeks later, he told me he had a ring, but it's the one he proposed to his ex with, and he wanted to give it to me. I was so upset. Babe, fair enough. Upset is an understatement. What do you mean he was giving you his ex's ring?
Yeah.
And in this case, she's given him back the ring, so that kind of...
Yeah, well, she was obviously a normal chick, unlike the three of you guys.
That's, dare I say, disgusting.
Yeah, and a ring...
That's like bad juju. An engagement
ring is meant to be like a very personal,
exactly.
like, beautiful thing that sometimes, I mean, often I would assume that once you've spoken about marriage, the lady doesn't mind sending a few photos of what she likes, because in my experience, that happened for
yeah, all right,
years.
Buddy.
But yeah, it's, you know... To get one that you have no say in, whatever, that happens, I'm sure. But to get one that's been maybe created for someone else it's diabolical.
It's beyond lazy. It's like, it's so thoughtless that it's really quite offensive.
And the thing is, you could just sell it. Like, you could sell it, pawn it, and then buy a new one, create a new one. Like, literally any option there, but using one that you've already had this attempted special moment with someone else, or perhaps you've even been engaged and been married and then split up and given it back. Yeah, it feels like that ring's coming with like
I don't understand juju. In what moment did he think that was a good idea? Like at what point did he go, this will be fine? Yeah, it says...
Also, how did she know? That means he's told her.
It was very spontaneous. Well, I don't know. Could we maybe replace that word with lazy?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe lazy's the right word.
But the thing is, he's obviously told her, like, I've been engaged before, married before. I've got the ring back.
Maybe she saw a photo
Maybe
or something.
He's showed it to her.
She's seen it. They've spoken about it, whatever. And he dug it up from the archives.
I think you're within every right there to be unbelievably upset. And I would have said no, and then maybe you can, we can get one made.
See, Locke, you shouldn't give the ring back because then people do this.
Do what?
Try to give it to someone new.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. That just means that he's equally, his moral compass.
Well, what do you want the ring back for then?
Because it's what do you mean?
You want the ring back, but you don't want to use it again. So what are you doing with it?
I would sell it and get the money back. What do you mean?
You don't. It doesn't hold the same value though.
Cool. Give me a little bit less value. That's fine.
All right, fair enough.
Nice. It's really tough to convince you of these things.
All right, next story.
Oh man. All right. After getting engaged, my husband told me he had planned to propose to me at the beautiful beach location where we had wanted to go for a swim after a hike through the gorge.
Okay.
However, the nerves got the best of him on the hike, and somehow he thought the best opportunity to propose was when our dog decided to do a number 2.
What?
He bent down to pick it up and thought this was the perfect opportunity.
What?
He spun around on one knee, dog shit in a bag in one hand, ring in the other hand, and asked me to marry him like that.
What do you mean? This isn't real.
He told me later where he had planned to propose, which probably would have been a little more romantic. However, has made for a good story when people ask how he did it years on. That guy must have been nervous beyond words.
Is that nerves or is that like you just...
That's nerves.
You're holding poo.
I get it.
Put the poo down and then turn at the very least. If you're doing the whole, haha, got ya, it's not poo, it's a ring, don't hold the poo.
That's like almost too much of a good Samaritan. Like, he's got the poo in the bag. Yeah, that's great. Leave it on the floor.
Leave it on the floor for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Leave it on the floor for an hour, come back to the spot, pick it up.
That's a tricky one because it is a beautiful moment.
Is it?
It's meant to be memorable. But what happened with us, right, for example?
Sorry.
No, it is a beautiful moment to get engaged, I'm saying, like in general. And what happened, like for just a bit of, context for Jad and I, once we had our, like she said yes and we put the ring on, like we both dropped to our knees and just hugged for what felt like 20 minutes.
While the
like it was
jumped over.
Yeah. But I'm thinking if they did this, if they knelt down and embraced, like you would have been just smiling and crying into each other, and then every time you took a breath, you'd just be smelling your dog's shit. So it would taint,
Maybe it's in one of those
taint the sort of memory.
the scent bags they have now.
Yes, it's probably a scent bag. Can we get some of those after you go to the toilet?
Sweetheart,
What?
what's wrong with you?
Just
You can leave some stuff at home, like when you come in here, you don't have to say everything that comes into your mind.
Honesty is the best policy.
Anyway, look, that was a bit of a shitty engagement.
Bro, that's the same joke you've used twice in 3 weeks.
And it's so good every time.
No, it's not. It's lazy. That's a spontaneous lazy joke.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sorry that it went down like
I'd
that.
ask for a rerun.
It sounds like you still went and had your swim and your little romantic.
It is a good story.
Your romantic bit after the fact. So sorry you had poo in one hand, ring in the other. But congrats on your engagement. And I hope you guys are still together.
Okay, next one. On New Year's Eve, I was with my partner and all of our friends. My partner called my mum earlier and said he was planning to propose in a couple days' time, but wasn't going to tell my dad because he was infamous for being a terrible secret keeper. Anyways, Dad overheard this phone call and said, "Is Jason proposing?" To which Mum had responded, "Yes, he is soon, but that's all I'm telling you. Do not say a word." Go forward 3 hours into New Year's Eve with all of our friends, 3 hours. That's hilarious. Jason and I both receive a text message from Dad saying, "Congratulations, about time." I can't finish this story. I'm triggered. I look at Jason. Jason looks at me and I say, "What is he talking about?" My dad took soon to mean the next couple of hours and was congratulating us. I reply, "What?" And my dad calls me to apologise because he's pretty sure he just spoiled my proposal. Anyway, he went ahead as planned 2 days later. I knew it was coming, but he still managed to surprise me by getting my GF to take me out for lunch, and there he was on one knee. Oh, God, he doubled down as well. "Sorry, just ruined your proposal. Hee hee." Like, play it off as something else. Like, "Sorry, that message was for your sister. She just got this new job offer." I don't know. Think of anything.
Yeah.
He doubled down. "Sorry, I think I just ruined your proposal."
I feel like it's a dad thing. Maybe they just get too excited
Yeah,
and they just
I don't know.
they just want to share it for you. So
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a part of the brain that blocks out the surprise element and only hears this is the information.
yeah, super exciting. Tell immediately.
Yeah. Also, the fact that the mum has gone, "It's happening soon," and Dad's like just immediately gone, "Well, that obviously means in the next 15 minutes." So
It's funny that you knew exactly what the dad was going to do. You kept it from him for a reason. Because you knew he was going to F it up.
And then he overheard.
He randomly found out and F'd it up anyway. So
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like that one was just doomed from the start anyway.
Oh, sorry to hear.
But yeah, I feel for you. It's not nice that the surprise got ruined, but glad that 2 days later you still had a nice little surprise and he got down on one knee.
That's good.
I'm
If
assuming
he's
he said
managed
yes.
to still surprise you, that's I'm impressed by that.
All right, next one. I snooped through my then boyfriend's DMs and ruined my surprise proposal.
Oh.
He had sent his friends photos of the ring and told them he was going to propose on Christmas Day. I had to pretend to be surprised when I opened my 13 cascading boxes and ended up with a ring box. He doesn't know to this day, and we've been married for 3 years.
Oh, no.
That is your own fault, man.
Yeah.
That's shite.
That's so sad.
That'll teach you for snooping. I'm confused. Were you hoping to catch him doing something shady and then you're actually about to get like engaged? That seems like opposite ends of the
bugger.
relationship spectrum.
Also, 13 cascading boxes, like that doesn't happen often. So, and on Christmas Day, I reckon if
What's that mean?
if
I actually
he's a
don't know.
listener, well, it's like a babushka. You know what a babushka is?
Those dolls, like Russian dolls?
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Yeah, babushka. Yeah, you open it, there's another doll inside.
Oh, okay.
I used to love those things. It's like that, but with boxes.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's really niche. As in, if he happens to be a listener, hello, if you're listening, you'd know that was your missus, right?
That's like kind of all these stories, I think.
Yeah, but
Right?
this one's a bit more obvious.
Like they're all pretty precise.
Well, those
like,
ones
the
aren't.
dog shit
but
one.
This one
I
says
don't
he
think
doesn't.
someone who proposed with dog shit in their
But that's
hands is going to
funny.
think that wasn't me.
No.
That must have been another guy.
That wasn't a secret. Like he doesn't know that she knows to this day.
Oh, you mean the cascading boxes bit? Yeah, that's niche. Yeah, I
Yeah, and the
gotcha.
photos, like him messaging his friend photos on Instagram, like he would have gone, "Well, I did that, and I
Yeah.
did the 13 boxes." So
Yeah, that is a proposal horror story because you've ruined it yourself, but unfortunately you have to take sole responsibility for that.
yeah.
And I think now that you've let it go for so long, like you're 3 years in and you still haven't
You
told
can't
him,
say
you literally
anything.
have to die with a lie
Yeah,
now.
you have to die with a lie,
You just have
100%.
to pretend. Because if you tell him 10 years in, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I knew,
Yeah.
that would rock me. So
100%.
yeah, all the best. You got to keep that one till you're
Absolutely.
in the grave.
Sorry to hear it. Our next story says, my friend proposed to his girlfriend, went out to an expensive restaurant, etc. However, she said no because it wasn't how she dreamt it would happen, and she made him redo it at her workplace where she wanted an audience. They ended up breaking up before the wedding. What?
I'm 0% surprised.
What? Why at work?
Oh,
That's so odd.
That is...
Why at work?
I'm sorry, but if you said no to me and then you wanted me to do it in a
You would
busier
never- you'd
environment,
leave
I
me, I
would have just
reckon.
said, nah, man,
See you
you're
later.
not the girl for me.
Yeah.
That is heinous.
That's so sad.
Imagine your partner puts effort. And like, let me tell you,
At a nice restaurant.
Let me tell you,
Expensive restaurant.
blokes that do it, as I said, even though you know they're probably going to say yes, it's still really nerve-wracking and it's an exciting time for both of you, as much as it is for your partner.
Yeah.
And a lot of thought and effort goes into it, obviously. And for them to say no, not because they don't want to marry you, but because it's not how they wanted it to be, and then they tell you how it is. And it's not like, I want to do it at a romantic picnic overlooking the harbour at our first date spot. It's literally, I want more people watching
That's
when I
so
say yes.
strange.
Like, that is just, I would have sacked her off. I would have just said, look,
Well, they broke up
Just-
before the wedding. And
I would have said go to
thank
work.
goodness.
I'm not coming in.
Thank goodness, honestly.
Yeah, that one's a little bit.
Dodged a
little
bullet,
bit
buddy,
yuck.
I
Yeah,
reckon.
you dodged a serious
Friend
bullet.
dodged
there.
a bullet.
It's like dodging a grenade.
Dodging a grenade.
All right, next one. It says, my ex proposed to me and immediately started telling me how he designed it himself at Tiffany's and it cost $10,000, etc.
What?
Later, found out that he'd told my mum and sister a totally different amount. I then found out the ring was from a jeweler in store and cost $1,500. He literally lied to me as he was proposing to me, unprompted. I couldn't have cared less where it was from or how much he'd spent. I cared more that he'd lied.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, that seems like a weird time.
Also, I was
going to
say,
flex.
I think 10 grand's pretty good for Tiffany's.
Is that? Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I think Tiffany's rings are a bit more than that.
Yeah.
So I was like, that sounds pretty good.
So he didn't even do his research into the lie. He wasn't like, I've
he
crafted
just went
this
and
one.
he just said something.
Yeah, interesting.
That's really sad.
Yeah,
And so
it's-
true. Like we don't care. But if you run around saying 3 different things to different people, then we're going to care.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? You say you don't care, but then the last story, the chick cared where the proposal was. So I'm sure she would have cared what the ring was like
Yeah,
or
but
how much it cost.
she's not
So
the one.
There's plenty of people that I think would care. But yeah, I think the bit there is that in that moment, it's like, why would you even bring up money or anything? Like, that it doesn't make any sense. And if that's something that you do openly discuss with your partner, like down the road, you're like, hey, sweetie, like I hope you didn't break the bank for this, and maybe you chat about it or you ask, like, I don't know, months down the line, maybe you know you can be honest and open about it. But as you're down on one knee and they say yes, and then you start pretending to flex how much money you didn't spend on a ring to someone that you know doesn't care, it seems like a bit of an odd one. So.
These ones always end in X, don't they?
Yeah, I did actually
start with X.
talk to this lady about what happened. I said, you know, what happened after the fact, and she said that she realized he was actually a pathological liar, and that's why they split up. So
Oh, sounds like it.
yeah, so a tricky one there.
Another
but,
bullet dodge. Woo!
Yeah, honestly, I feel for you guys because you got to this
it's
stage, which
terrible.
is such a huge investment of time
Yeah.
to get to the point in a relationship where you're ready to propose to someone, to get engaged. It's often like a few years, and then to get there, it to be rubbish and then split up with someone, that's tough. But yeah, as I said and Jad said, you've probably dodged a few bullets here.
Our next one says, my partner, parents and I were all travelling in Barcelona together for a long weekend, and my partner had been trying to get my dad alone to ask permission to marry me. Obviously, when we're all travelling together, it does make it very hard to get time one-on-one without being suspicious. So we were out for a lovely lunch of paella, and us girls went to the bathroom. He so quickly asked my dad for permission while we were in there. We got back from the bathroom and our drinks order comes along. Dad clinks his glass and goes, I've got a toast of amazing news. No, I can't read this. Johnny has just asked to marry our daughter and now we can celebrate. My partner, myself, and my mum literally just sat there flabbergasted at what happened. And my sweet, innocent dad had no idea. Let's be frank, I have an older sister and he does know that you're not supposed to say anything, but he says he was genuinely so excited that his brain stopped working. How many dads are ruining
I don't get
proposals? I think we need just a blanket rule, leave dad out of it.
Also, I was thinking when this one came through, are you now just engaged? Like,
Yeah.
does she answer the dad? Like,
The dad said
is the
yes
dad
for
asking
you.
for the bloke?
What if you wanted to say no?
Yeah, like, are you now from that? Like, are
Yeah.
you celebrating that you're engaged? Because what are you
immediate
celebrating?
jail
He hasn't
time
asked
for
yet.
dad. Dad in the doghouse forever.
I feel like if you are a dad listening or a new dad and you're going to go through this one day, let your kid have this moment on their own. There's plenty of time to celebrate after the fact, and you'll be involved, but you
What
don't
happened
need
to
to
double
take
checking?
the light.
What do boomers not double check things?
Double check what?
Anything, the details. Hey, what day are they getting engaged? Hey, have you actually asked her? Hey, what happened to asking a question?
Well, he asked the dad, so I think he
No, the
would
dad
just
double
know.
checking. The dad needs to double check.
Yeah, I don't think double checking is going to help there. I think he was, as she said, just like an excited little puppy that wanted to share the news. But it's sad because, once again, for that sort of surprise to be ruined, and then that couple never gets that moment together, because when they do have it, she already knew it was coming. You know what I mean? So as much as you guess and you can think it's coming, you never really know. You might have a hunch, but dad's made sure that you definitely know in this one. So I feel for you, but I hope you guys are happily ever after. Next and last story. My partner planned a COVID proposal. We went to take our dog for a walk within our local government area. Do you remember those times? Holy moly. And on said walk, another dog burst out of a house, fly screen came off and attacked my dog.
Oh, God.
And in the process of trying to get my dog away from the fight, I broke my ring finger. I then passed out from the pain shortly after.
Oh.
He then couldn't propose or didn't want to in the coming days or weeks because my ring finger was in a cast for several weeks.
Oh, no.
I didn't find out he was planning on proposing during that walk until months later when all was said and done. That sucks.
That's crazy.
As a dude who had a plan and it didn't go to plan, and then you didn't get to do it the next day or the next week, you had to wait literally months for her finger to get out of a cast, I wouldn't have slept for months. So that sucks. And I feel for your partner. I feel for you. And
what
your
are the chances
broken hand,
that that's the finger that broke?
Yeah,
honestly,
poor thing.
You
Well, I
have
guess
10.
it was that hand in general being a cast, right? So it wouldn't look nice to have your new ring finger on your
No,
cast
don't
hand.
they just put the glue your fingers together?
Maybe
I think it's like a little
that would look beautiful.
what's it called a stint.
Yeah, that's nice. Good from you.
Shint?
Yeah, shint. Let's go with shint. You got it right the first time, but let's stuff it up the second time.
Okay. You didn't give me the nod of approval, so I started
I didn't
rattling
know
off
you
other
needed it,
sounds.
honey.
Anyway, the wood thing, and then anyway, look,
Yeah.
this is not important.
Yeah. It's a good story, but for your grandkids
That's
one day.
unfortunate.
But that is a shitty one, and mainly for your partner. Like the broken finger, the
Yeah.
dog's fighting. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But man, if I had to feel the anxiety I felt in
Yeah.
the day lead up for Jad for another month, I don't know if I would have made it. So yeah, I feel for your partner.
I'm passing out from the pain's pretty good.
I hope you didn't have like a mangled finger after the fact that the ring looked funky on either. So
Okay.
I hope that got fixed up.
Yeah, might have needed to reslice the ring to fit over the broken finger.
But guys, they were some of your worst horror stories when it comes to
Yeah.
proposals, engagements.
Shout out to your dads.
And let me tell you that there were so many of these. I was genuinely surprised. I was like, oh, we might get a couple of like fun ones and, people, that have had moments stuffed up. But it seems like 50% of our listeners have just had their engagements stuffed up.
We
So-
had so many others as well, like just also from even people we know just DMing us and just telling us what had happened that we didn't even know things had gone
friends. But let me also just say, like, when you guys write in, if we don't use your story, we really appreciate you writing in and sharing it nonetheless. But obviously, if we used every single story, we'd be here for hours on end. So,
which we know you guys would love.
yeah, but alas, our producers need to go and find
Sleep.
lads to steal rings off and then sell them and go on trips. So.
All right, guys, it's time for our Ask Mum and Dad segment where you guys write in, you ask us a question that you need a little bit of help with, and, we're kind of like your internet parents. And, we've also had a baby recently, so we're actually qualified, certified real parents too. So here is this week's question. Hey guys, love the pod. Need more than one episode each week, please. Oh, love that from you. So, my boyfriend is what some might refer to as a gym junkie. Oh, can relate to that. Really into his training and food, etc. My issue is he's always trying to push the whole fitness thing onto me and get me to train with him and eat the same foods as him, etc. I'm not unhealthy or anything, but I just couldn't give two shits about that stuff. What do I do? Tell him to fuck off.
Your advice has really changed.
Look, it's okay to have your own bloody hobbies.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's nice to have some quiet time. Locke goes to the gym.
Yeah, what do you do?
What do I do? What's my hobby? I can't get around to my hobbies these days. There's too much laundry. Locke's shaking his head.
Well, it didn't make sense because I do the laundry, so
Oh,
there's too
do
much.
you?
There's too
'Cause
much laundry
been
for me to do,
piles
so
of
you
laundry
can't.
that haven't been done for the past few weeks.
Weird.
All
I
the
thought you'd been
clean-
doing it.
All the clean stuff that's just sitting there.
Yeah, I feel like having your separate things in a relationship is actually good because there's plenty of time to do things together, but then you also need your separate time, right? So like when I do duck out and go to the gym, it's like a bit of me time, a bit of therapeutic, time just to yourself, and vice versa. When Jad goes to yoga or, goes for a walk or has a bath, like whatever it is, you don't always need your partner to like the same things as you. And I think that sometimes that's a good thing because, the saying opposites attract. It's like maybe if you were two little fitness junkies, perhaps, you might butt heads a little bit. So
Why don't you just politely say, look, honey, I'm really glad you're passionate about the gym, but it's just not for me. Maybe he doesn't know that it's not for you.
that's nice, simple, straight to the point.
Yeah.
But maybe you also just need to give him a few examples of things
Yeah,
that
so
maybe
do you want to come get a mani-pedi with me?
yeah, things that you like doing. Like, Jad likes reading her porno books. And if she really wanted to push those onto me, I would just happily say, look, I'm not interested in
I
reading
just
your porno
finished A
books.
Court of Mist and Fury, guys. It's bloody good.
Oh my God. All
Good
right.
book.
Yeah, so I think it's it's fair for him to have his hobbies and be super into them, and he might be really passionate about them. But it's also fine for you to tell him to bugger off and that they're not your passions, and that it's starting to irk you when he's grinding your gears about them and trying to push. So.
I think it's a good point to try to ask him to be involved in things that you really like. And when he goes, well, no, why would I want to do that? Go, well, same goes for the gym and that stupid app where you track your food. I don't want to borrow that.
You started by saying just be honest and say, look, like not for me. And then you've gone into this sneaky realm of inviting him to do things that he's not going to want to do. So then you can prove a point and say, see, you didn't want to do them.
Yeah. Say, honey, do you want to come shopping with me? And he'll go, no. And you go,
yeah, cool. Don't want to go to the gym with you.
Sweet ass. Yeah, now you know how I feel.
All right, so there's two approaches you've got from us. You can be honest and just say bugger off, or you can coerce him into attempting to do something that he won't like and then saying gotcha. So
that's great advice.
They're your two options. Now,
we did well. Go team.
Jad, why don't you come to the gym with me?
Because I don't like it.
There you go. Look how easy that was.
I hate the gym. Ew.
All right, guys, that's all. You don't look like you hate the gym.
Let's talk about how much we hate the gym.
Who, me or you?
Me.
All right, if you want, go.
I'm just joking.
All right,
but
lovely.
it's so, God, it's grim in there. You just walk in, you do the same bloody thing, sit on that stupid machine, go, and then walk out. Bring back Zumba.
I think it's still around, bro. You can go.
No one goes to Zumba anymore.
Well, I think you'd walk in and you'd realise that it's kind of ladies and blokes maybe a touch older than you.
I love yoga. I love Shavasana.
Yeah, it's because you just get to sleep on a mat. Guys, that's all we have for you this week. Another episode done and dusted. We appreciate having you with us. Your ears mean a lot. And if you did want to leave a review or a little comment for us, we'd love that. But until next week, we'll see you then.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right, guys, welcome to... Let's get stuck in.